Hi, and welcome to GoingBallistic.org. I am Donna Carter, founder and president of Going Ballistic. And I'm excited today because we were able to go to CPAC and we met a lot of great people, one of which is our guest today, Jarrett Branch from Blexit. So stay tuned.
111, 110.
Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to introduce Carolina. She is our being Going Ballistic's new PR person, who we're so excited to have. So thank you for being on. And
Thank you.
She and I got to go, or Going Ballistic was invited to CPAC this year, and what a great time and adventure and blessing that was, and opened so many doors, and one of which had Jarrett Branch standing in it. And he is with Blexit, and he's graced us with being our guest today. Jarrett, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Jarrett Branch. I'm the Southeast Regional Manager of Blexit. We're a 501c3 founded by the fantastic Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. And it was a pleasure meeting you guys at CPAC. You know, that's one of my favorite things about going to any type of event like this with conservatives. You get to see like-minded people from all across the country having the same goals in mind. And it's really a beautiful sight to see.
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
It's unlike what you experience like outside, like in regular daily life. You really do get this like unifying feeling of community that we're all in this together.
Well, and I love that Jarrett said goals, because, my goal is to take action. My goal was to get up off the couch and do something. I couldn't do nothing any longer. And so it's amazing when you finally do that, what happens. And so I don't always know the end game, and I'm not necessarily in the results business, but I know now that it's not as inclusive as I was led to, or exclusive as I was led to believe. That grassroots means all of us. You out there and me, and I used to think somehow that everybody else was going to handle it. And that's, I think, gotten us where we are today. So even though Going Ballistic is focused on rural areas, I know now that really our rural families have the exact same needs and desires as any urban community. And it's really just a matter of us all getting together.
I love that you said that, because with Blexit, we're all about grassroots and being in the community. And these last couple of years, we have noticed the same thing, the same message that we were telling to the Black and Brown communities. Hey, school choice is great. We need small government. We need to focus on having the strong nuclear families. It's the same issues that we see in the rural areas. So it's not just a message for Black Americans or Americans living in the South. Our messages are messages for all Americans. It's a time for all of us to come together. And I love that about being a conservative. People say conservatives are not inclusive. I haven't had a single issue. I have to say, since becoming a conservative many years ago, it's been nothing but love across the board. I mean, look at that. We went to CPAC, we spoke, and now we're here communicating once again, communicating on something that's great, just trying to focus on changing the narrative and changing the world.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of like some of the things that you're doing in the community, I think one of the things that I was really captivated by is that you said you guys have been opening charter schools that are independent of like the government imposed curriculum at this time. Do you want to share a little something about that maybe?
Sure. Blexit has multiple divisions. I work in the grassroots division, but we also have an education department. Currently, we have three schools that we opened up, most recently in Houston. I was down there in December with Pastor Vega. You guys met him at the CPAC as well. Amazing guy. We're giving out like 200, 300 gifts to the communities and families. But these schools are all focused on history, but not from a victim narrative. We want to teach the kids the things that they need to learn, but also by being independent, we're not pigeonholed by some of these government regulations. So these kids can have a Bible, they can pray. We can, actually have school at the churches. And I got to say, Pastor Vega has been so accommodating. We have 3 schools. And what I love about the education department, they will not move on to another location, open another school until that school is set and it's ready to go. And we make sure we go to Title I areas. If you don't know that, it's what that is for people watching. It's where a lot of people have food stamps or Section 8, things like that. So because we want to go to these areas and start giving people a hand up, not a handout. Because you constantly get handouts, they never grow. And that's been one of the issues in the Black community, being stagnant by constant handouts. So when we see in Brexit, when we offer, and again, these programs are free. So the kids go to schools for free. We have after school programs, we have summer camps, and the parents, they really love it. And it breaks the narrative that people don't want to hear conservative values in urban communities. I mean, because we go to the heart of the urban community and they agree with what we're saying. It's just that people haven't came there and let them know, like, hey, there's a different way to think.
Well, FYI, those rural communities that we're talking about are, a lot of these people are on food stamps and other government aid. And so as much as they want to divide us and make us think that we're all so different, it's really not true, because the people way out in the country are subject to the same misunderstanding of the aid that's out there, and take full advantage, on a generational level, and it's just corrosive.
What I personally really like about what you just talked about with the schools and also with Going Ballistic, I think that's like my biggest draw, is that these are both free market solutions to major problems that all communities across the states are experiencing. It's about, like Donna said, it's about taking action, and that's exactly what both of you guys are doing. And I think that's the solution. It's time to stop waiting for the government to come take our hands and tell us it's going to be okay and that they're going to solve everything, because that doesn't work, and it's not a good idea anyway. So no.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
I totally agree with that. It's just something my father always told me, that, grew up very religious in the church, and he always said faith without work is dead. Especially him being in the military, it was just about, hey, you got to put action, and you can't just sit at home and wait for stuff to happen. And too many times we have a lot of people at home who have well intentions, but again, they don't get off their, like you said, they don't get off their couch and do something. And with Brexit, it's just like there's always something to do. There's always something that needs to get done, and it's full of people who are actually getting off their feet and doing something. I've been part of a lot of organizations, and this is one of the few organizations where people put feet to action. And I'm so happy, and I'm so happy that I met you guys too, because what you guys are doing is so commendable. Your 501c is phenomenal. I think it's something that resonates in all communities, and it's also something that brings communities together. A lot of times when we have just the divide between the police, Brexit is very big on backing the blue, myself included. And I think programs like yours will bridge that gap, just like we try to bridge the gap as well in the Black and brown communities with the police.
Well, and I just love how these things, for myself even, are so educational, because we don't want to talk about, like, those public servants work for us. We're their employers. If they're out there unequipped, that's on us, and we elect the officials and things like that. But if we can't seem to elect people to get the job done, then the responsibility really falls to us. And that's why, when I learned a little bit about what happened in Uvalde and things like that, it doesn't take the law being changed. It doesn't take, a bureaucracy doing something like to start a charter school, or, you know what I mean? We have everything we need to start doing something right now. And that's really one of our mission statements, is no more waiting. We don't have to wait. We can take initiative and get things done.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I think we've all sort of been conditioned to believe that the government is going to solve certain problems, like, oh, the police aren't equipped. Well, that's the government's job. So I'm going to sit here and wait for the government to do something. I don't have anything to eat. I'm going to sit here and wait for the government to provide it, So it's not the people's fault. They've been led to believe that that's just, the way it works. So, it's good to start seeing people taking things into their own hands, because like you said, it doesn't take much, and we have everything we need to start making meaningful change in these areas. So
yes, and when you start to make change, the government's going to follow suit. Case in point, we were in Newark one day doing a community cleanup on a Saturday. About 40 people just showed up to clean up a park for these kids. Parks never cleaned. There were just drug paraphernalia, liquor bottles, just all sorts of stuff kids shouldn't see. We were told to stop by the city. Again, we had to get a permit, but it was fine because we were under a certain number of people, so we continued to clean up. And then what was great, the following week, the city came out and finished cleaning up the park. So they saw us taking the initiative, and they're like, hey, you know what? The community is saying this is what we should be doing. Let's do our job. So sometimes, the citizens stepping up will get the government to follow suit. So it was great to see that they actually started to clean the community. But the community really appreciated us coming there because no one was coming there. But it was just sad to hear some people say, well, it's going to get dirty again. We just told them, oh, we'll come back and clean. So people have to realize you have to have this commitment. There's going to be consistency and commitment to these changes. It's not going to be overnight, but it's worth the journey.
Well, and being a mom, I know firsthand that a lot of these people, or a lot of us, are just waiting to be told what to do. Like, you tell me where to be and what we're going to do, and I'll be there. And so I think that's why it's so important to have people like you and have Blexit that is giving us those bullet points. Like, this is what we're doing. This is where we need you to be, because we're just laying in wait. Ready.
You're empowering people.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you know what? That's great. That's one of our one of our slogans for this year is awaken, empower, and inspire. So we're definitely trying to empower people to take it into their own hands. Just see what Blexit. Our chapters are launched by regular folks. I helped launch a New Jersey chapter a couple of years ago, and I was just a lowly guy, lowly conservative in New Jersey looking for something. And they're like, hey, let's start a chapter. And it's been great. And it's to go travel across the country and to see everything, the changes that we need is sometimes it's a little disheartening. But the same note, every time I go to these places, there's always hundreds of people trying to make change. So that just lifts my spirit. And that's why I love things like CPAC or AmpFest or a Blexit event, because you leave there motivated. You leave there feeling like, hey, I'm ready to take on the world and take on these challenges. And when we just have, like you said, we have hundreds of people, thousands of people ready to take on these challenges, and we have a direction and we're unified, there's nothing that can stop us.
Yeah.
That's right. And I, unfortunately, did not have the experience that Jarrett got to have with the local GOP. And mine was actually kind of the opposite, where, they didn't like Donna, and it was kind of Mean Girls, and I go home crying, and so that's what I love about CPAC. And it's people who have not been around so long that they know how things are done. They expect things to be done a certain way. We don't know. And so, it's just kind of a fearless, and again, I think everybody has a passion, a God-given drive. And as long as our motives are the same, and that we're really just there to be helpful, I think it's world changing, and it's the basis of what America was built on. A bunch of renegades that had enough, and said that we're not going to put up with it anymore.
Yeah, and it's always appreciated.
They bound together and they made the government they wanted. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
No, that's right.
We always appreciate having fresh eyes, having a new group come in like you guys, because your guys are seeing stuff on a totally different perspective. Sometimes in this field, you get kind of jaded or you get used to it. And no, turnover in nonprofits is not a bad thing. Some people say, oh, we have turnover, we have people coming in and out. No, that's a great thing because you have new perspectives. You have people who are working now, they're taking this mentality and they're taking it to a different business.
Mhm.
They're taking it to a different corporation. So now it's just spreading. So it's great to have new inspirational organizations like Going Ballistic come up. You know, Blexit, it feels like we've been here forever, but we've only been around for 4 years.
Wow.
You know, so in 4 years, we have 14,000 members, over 43 chapters. We have over thousands of events. It's amazing. So, but this is because we put into work and we believed in the cause, and it's surprising everyone else believes in the cause as well. And that's a great thing about America. You know, not everyone in Blexit is hardcore conservative. We have not liberals, but we have people who are conservative. We have libertarians. We have people who just hate politics, but they're just here for the mission. And that's the best thing about these organizations. We don't have to agree on everything, but as long as we're focused on the mission at hand, everything's going to be golden.
I love that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Politics shouldn't matter. You know, just respect each other, respect the differences of opinion, and unite for a common cause. That's really all it should take. So,
saving lives, you know, educating our kids. I don't care who you vote for. Surely
you support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you need to. So
right.
Tell us, yeah. How can people find you and what you're all about?
Well, if you want to know more about Blexit, you can go to www.blexitfoundation.org. That's our website. Everything is there. And I'm Jarrett Branch across all social media platforms. And if you're interested in joining, you can contact me there, or you can go to our website. Again, we have 43 chapters. I'll point you into the right direction. And if you're interested in starting a chapter in one of our states yet to launch, like Vermont or Maine, contact me as well. Again, I have experience in launching a chapter. We're always looking to expand. And you'll be seeing more of us and more of us working together because I believe this partnership is going to be great. And again, this was just a blessing to be on here. Again, I enjoy talking to you guys at CPAC. I love everything that you're doing. And I feel like your mission is really in your guys' hearts and souls. And you know, you were called to do this. And I feel anytime you're called to do something, it's always going to work because God has your back. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to meet with me and have you on the show.
No, thank you for being on the show. Yeah, no, you've been great. We love what Blex is doing, and yeah, looking forward to what's next.
Well, Carolina, it was nice to have you on today. I know we'll probably see a whole lot more of you. Jarrett, we would love to have you back. Let us know, you know, when and what all is going on. We, GoingBallistic.org, of course, are just a little baby. So, you know, the 4-year-old 501c3 seems like a senior by far compared to us. But I think you're right. No matter what, as long as we can set aside our differences and focus on our similarities and have a common cause to find a solution rather than just griping about the problem. Everybody loves to do that. That the solutions are there and that we can take advantage of it. So thank you, Jared.
Thank you,
Carolina. Thank you, viewers. We love you and God bless.
Bye, guys.
111, 110.